Good morning, and thanks for coming back to Dude Craft Guitars to check out what we're going to be doing with these guys. And the idea was to get all the carving done outside from the shop here. This is, basically shop, the back of the house, doing the COVID thing like everybody else. And what can I say? We got a lot of orders thanks to you guys, and I appreciate you keeping us alive through all this COVID stuff. Nonetheless, I got to get these going. It's going to rain here pretty soon, and rain and power equipment don't match. And as much as I like doing this outside, if I have to, I'll bring it inside and just have to clean up afterwards, which, as you can tell, is not my strong suit. But we'll get it going and get some shape, make these things look like electric guitars. I still got the Naboy, and I need to carve that one too. So I'm trying to get you guys some footage. It's not Better Homes and Gardens, so don't rate me by what my fence or my weeds look like. That's all I'm saying. We're trying to make guitars here. All right, stick around. All right, first things first, we like to get the belly carved, and I've got really no surefire system of this. I just kind of go with what looks right, and I know there's probably templates and stuff you can get, but I'm just going to go with, like I said, with what looks right. So to me, first of all, I like to get kind of a little hillside looking thing going. Okay, and then kind of clean it up from there. Now that's pretty aggressive carve. Probably don't need it in that much. Something like that. And whenever I'm doing more than one at a time, take advantage of kind of trying to match them. And of course, all this handy pencil work only goes so far. So there's what I've got there. Now what I like to do is get this line going, this section of it. And then here's where I get really aggressive. Bring that thing in about a third of the way in on this. And kind of just taper it, make it match up. And then on this guitar, it does get a little bit of an arm carve. So again, I want this line and this line to about match in size. So whatever that is, about an inch. So I'm going to have about an inch right here as well. Okay, and on this, like I said, we've got even on this high back model, we've also got a high back pick guard. And so there's only so far we can go with the arm carve on this one. But it's nice to have something. And a lot of times on that, I'll try to get myself a nice straight line. Now on this model, we're also going to have a bevel. Now on this, I'll usually use my finger trick, and I'll go about not quite half an inch. Just do what looks good. And again, since these aren't made on a machine, these are one-offs. Even though it's a style of guitar that I obviously try to trend it out, but at the same time, each one is going to be uniquely different. And that's kind of the thing. That's what people come to expect from me and from Dude Craft Guitars. It's not going to be just like the guy down the street has. Now on this one, because we've got that big Jazz Masters looking tremolo, the whammy bar, this one's going to be a little bit different. I am going to try to get at least the start of that about the same, even if the finish, and yes, I call that the start, this the finish. And then, what I say, about like that for the bevel. And doing the bevel is just like carving a neck. You've seen how I carve necks. It's the same concept where you're making facet lines. Here we're going about 1/4 inch. So we're making facet lines, and then we're just following those lines. Sorry if I'm not getting all this on camera. I'm trying my best. Tripod and single person here. Now, I don't just take, I used to when I first started, and of course with some of these woods like the Marantes and the Poplars you can get away with, but I used to just take the grinder and go at it. I don't do that anymore. I found that, at least with the grinder I'm using, if you do too much at once on it, it gets hot. It gets really temperamental after a while. Not to mention, it just wears out those. I use a flap disc, and it just wears them out. You've probably seen it in a couple shots in the backdrop. You might even see it here. I got a little Sawzall. I used to do that. That's really a barbaric way to do it. And you want to make sure everything's clamped, trust me. But what I found basically is easier to do is just take the router and I'll just, you know, stair step it. So I'll start it real slowly, take off a little bit, then I'll do a little bit more. So I'm basically routing to about 1/8 of an inch to right about here, and then I'll take an 1/8 of an inch from here all the way out. Now this cut here is something very special, and it's very funny the way I come up with that cut. You probably just saw a little glimpse of it, but I'm going to grab my moonshine, and I'm essentially going from 2 points, here and here. So I grab whatever seems to be circular enough, and bing, there it is. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And now you probably ask, James, why don't you just make a jig? Well, I kind of do. I'm showing you how you could do this. You're at home. You don't have to go out and buy stuff or spend a whole bunch of time making jigs and patterns and all that kind of stuff. Templates. I mean, just grab a jug. So this one is going to be basically a lot like what we were doing with the arm carve. Because I've got a certain given amount that I want to have right here. I don't want anything less than 3/4 of an inch right there. Okay, because basically as it is, I'm going to need to use shorter neck screws up here, and if it's any less than that, then I have to cut them. It's just a pain. Okay, so here we go, just like that. So basically, that's that cut. Simple, easy stuff. It's all about being prepared. I don't want to get out there, start clamping everything, get my grinder in my hand, and just totally wing it. I mean, it almost sounded like that's kind of what I do.
Footprints left behind, the shadows that will follow us, final thoughts within our minds. And I know it's not your fault when our world comes to a halt. It's too hard, we must admit, when we all have had enough, with our passion and our pride against the darkness of the night. Sometimes it's not enough to have missed your love.
Oh boy, that was fun. I'm telling you what. Yeah. So we've got them down to this level. Everything else at this point is going to be pretty much handheld sander, random orbital, most likely, maybe the little pneumatic spinner, and of course our beloved hand sanding. But that's all inside stuff I could do. It's you know, low dust, or at least something I could collect dust with my dust collector. But that's the basic outside, you know, chips flying type stuff. So yeah, so we got the contours, the basic contours taken care of, and then we've got the round overs taken care of. Got to remember to do this before putting finish on. That's for a long time that was a bad habit of mine, but I think I'm up to like 11 in a row now where I remember to do that before putting the finish on. So that was pretty cool, you know, the little sound socket. So that's what we got there. got a big mess here. I'm thinking you probably noticed the lighting going in and out on the video. That she's a coming. That storm's a coming. I've got a bunch of stuff pulled out because again we're redoing this place. So I've got stuff out there under tarps, under a canopy, and the canopy's rattling like crazy. So I'm going to take care of that, get that a little lower to get it low profile down out of the wind, and get back to guitars. But I'm thinking while we still have maybe another, I don't know, 45 minutes of light, maybe I'll knock out getting the Unruly going. This is how I do it here, guys. I mean, I've got lots of guitars and not a lot of me. So I've got to spread it out between one project to another until it gets down to the nitty gritty, polishing and, you know, getting everything all set up. It's one guitar at a time at that point, for sure. But right now I have to multitask. I have no other choice. So let's do that. Let's get this thing figured out. We know Ethan says he wants a decent belly carve here. So we're going to do that now. I got to remember this thing has a finished fretboard on it. I don't want to mess it up on that thing. A little sans flat is nice until you start gouging your polished frets. Okay, so anyway, I digress. What else is new? Okay, so we're going to put that good little carve on there. And then in lieu of actually having a huge carve here, he wants to go more of a bevel. So we're going to do a bevel. Got a little room to work with, you know, with having the pick guard right there. So we're going to do a little bit of a bevel there. We're going to do a little more of a bevel here. So it's almost like an arm carve. That facet going there. You got to remember, we still got to take down this top a little bit. And I'm going to have to do that all with handheld stuff since somebody forgot to run it through the drum sander before gluing the neck on. So I'm probably going to do, rather than using that old Sears table router for doing this, probably going to have to just put it like a nice little round over bit in the hand router, or might even do just one of those things. Ooh, that's awfully wonderful. Like a George Bush statement. Awfully wonderful. Yeah. Magnificently tragic. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Something more like along those lines. And again, on this, I'm going to do like a little bit bigger bevel. And do something here. I think the bucket's too big for that. Let's try that tape roll. Yeah, tape roll looks good. And then we'll graduate it from there. And since we're not bolting anything here, we can come almost down to the neck. I still want some glue surface there. I mean some wood, that's surface there, but we could also take that neck all the way in. So we don't have to have that pad right there. So I could carve that up. I'll probably do that with the Shinto. I think that's enough to get us started. All right. So back outside. I mean, probably, I don't know if it's picking up in the microphone, but my things are flapping and blowing and the barn doors are creaking. It's crazy. All right, let's get at it. did it. All right. Yeah, so there you are. Obviously a lot more cleanup work, but we already know we got to clean up the flat parts anyway. That was fun getting up in there. I'm going to get in there some more with a rasp. Yeah, that's just going to blend into one cohesive unit there. And that's going to be a beautiful thing. We still have some routing to do for the control cavities. And yeah, that's coming along. I'm really liking it. So got a, you know, I decided I already had that router plugged in, so why not just use it? Yeah, that's this episode of Day at the Dude Ranch. I guess, you know, there was a running theme there. It's all about angle grinders and old routers. Yeah. Oh my. But there you go. Come on back and we'll finish up this nah boy here one episode at a time. Get a little closer. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And don't forget the jack, huh? And of course, like I said, we do have some other guitars that I've got to get assembled. So you'll probably see some videos, some demo videos along the way of those. And yeah, this is really fun. I got to go get that tarp and everything else all batted down. It's already starting to get a little moist out there. So thanks again for tuning in to Dude Craft Guitars. Come on back. Please click the subscribe button and ring that bell so you know when the next episode is, all that stuff. Share this with friends. Share this with, you know, people who aren't really your friends too. I don't care. We'll make them friends, all right? That's what it's all about. Thanks a lot, and God bless.